Imagine this. You walk into a room where a passionate debate is already unfolding. Everyone is speaking fast, loud, determined to be heard. Opinions fly like arrows. Someone points at charts. Another raises their voice. It feels like a storm of intelligence, confidence, and conviction. And yet, in the corner of the room sits a man. Quiet, observing, saying nothing. You almost forget he's there. Until, when the noise reaches its peak, he speaks. Just one sentence. Calm, clear, unemotional. And in that moment, the room falls silent. The tension vanishes. People turn their heads, rethinking everything. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't interrupt. So why does his voice carry more weight than all the shouting combined? What does he know that the others don't? Let's explore the powerful truth hidden in this silence, and why the wisest people often choose not to speak first. Most people assume that speaking quickly, being the first to offer an opinion, is a sign of strength. It shows you're sharp, decisive, confident. But many great thinkers throughout history, philosophers, generals, leaders, did the exact opposite. They waited. They listened. And when they did speak, their words reshaped the conversation. Why? Because they understood something most people don't. Influence is not about being loud. It's about being heard. Before we dive into the wisdom of silence, let's ask the uncomfortable question. Why do we rush to speak? At first glance, it seems harmless. But underneath the surface, there are deeper forces at play. Validation seeking. We want to be seen as intelligent, capable, respected. Speaking up quickly can feel like proving our worth in real time. Fear of being ignored. In competitive environments, silence is often mistaken for weakness. Many people speak just to be noticed, not to contribute. Emotional reactivity. When we feel challenged or triggered, we often respond immediately, without thinking. It feels good in the moment, but it costs us clarity and credibility. But here's the irony. The more reactive we are, the less power we hold. True wisdom is rarely impulsive. It is measured, intentional, strategic. This is where the ancient Chinese concept of Wu Wei comes into play. Often translated as non-action or effortless action, Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means choosing the right moment to act. Imagine being in a meeting. Everyone's pitching ideas, trying to impress. The wisest person in the room says nothing. They observe, read the room, absorb every word. And then, when all the dust settles, they speak with precision. Their words aren't just opinions. They are conclusions, backed by silence, sharpened by patience. In that moment, they don't just speak, they command. Let's look at three remarkable figures who understood the power of waiting and used silence as their greatest weapon. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and author of Meditations, led one of the world's greatest empires. But he wasn't known for dramatic speeches or public outbursts. In fact, his journal shows a man obsessed with restraint. He wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." To Marcus, real strength meant controlling yourself, not others. While chaos unfolded around him, wars, betrayals, political tension, he remained grounded, rarely speaking in haste. His leadership was defined not by dominance, but by composure. In the fast-paced world of finance, everyone wants to talk, predict, act fast. And then there's Warren Buffett. He once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Buffett is famous for listening more than he talks. In meetings, he often waits until the very end to speak, because by then, he's heard everyone else reveal their assumptions, their biases, and their fears. When he finally responds, it's not to impress, it's to decide. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu writes, "Appear weak when you are strong. Speak little when you know much." He believed that every word revealed something: your position, your thoughts, your intent. The more you spoke, the easier you were to predict. And in war, predictability is defeat. Sun Tzu's silence wasn't passive, it was tactical. He taught that speaking less forces the enemy to guess, and guessing leads to mistakes. Modern psychology supports what these ancient and modern minds practiced. When you speak last in a group setting, a few important things happen. You gather more data. You hear others' perspectives and arguments before shaping your own. You reduce emotional reactivity. With time to process, you're less likely to respond impulsively. You increase perceived authority. People associate silence with depth. The one who waits appears more confident, more in control. In fact, studies in group dynamics show that people who speak later in meetings are often seen as more thoughtful, even when they say less overall. Because silence is uncomfortable. We fear that if we don't jump in early, we'll be forgotten. We think that if we don't assert ourselves, we'll lose influence. But this fear is rooted in insecurity, not strategy. Silence isn't absence. It's presence without noise. And here's the twist. People remember the words you say last, not first, not loudest. Lasting influence comes from timing, not volume. So how do you apply this in your life? In conversations, don't rush to speak. Pause. Ask questions. Let others reveal their thinking first. In debates, don't react emotionally. Observe patterns. Wait for the moment when your point carries the most weight. In leadership, don't dominate with words. Lead with presence. Let your restraint speak for you. And most importantly, don't seek to be heard. Seek to be listened to. Because in a world full of noise, the quiet voice is often the one that changes everything. So the next time you're in a conversation, a debate, or a high-stakes moment, pause, breathe, let others talk. And when you finally speak, make it matter. Because the wisest people rarely speak first. And that's exactly why their words echo the longest.